Monty Moore, my granddad, has 6 Oakland A's World Series ring, one of which he sports on his right hand at all times. But he didn't get these rings without hard work and dedication to following what he loved to do. When I asked him about 2 moments that impacted his life the most, the first one he gave me started with him getting rheumatic fever as a senior in high school. The fever confined him to bed rest for a month or so. During that time, he spent hours listening to Major League Baseball broadcasts, and a broadcaster as a career started to sound appealing to him. After his bed rest, his father bought him a public address system and took the system and Monty to softball games where he would start doing play-by-plays. This led to him attending the University of Oklahoma and majoring in broadcasting. He got to announce all the sports on the student radio station. During one of these broadcasts, a man who was one of the nation's top fast-pitch pitchers for a softball team offered Monty a job at a radio station in Duncan, Oklahoma, only if he would be his catcher for a summer softball team. He took the job before going into the U.S. Army at the end of the summer. Incidentally, when he got out of the Army in 2 years, that same man had been promoted to a bigger station and offered him a job doing sports broadcasting and catching for him on the championship team. My granddad considers all of this important because he was using his abilities to further his career as a broadcaster whilst still getting to play the game in which he loved. His hard work and persistence teaches me to always continue doing what I love and what I have natural talent in. His second impactful moment happened in Kansas City, where he was currently a sports director of a big TV radio station and broadcasting for professional and college basketball and football teams. During one of his broadcasts, the new owner of the Major League Kansas City Athletics baseball team, Charles Finley, asked someone who the announcer was and that he liked his enthusiasm. My granddad ended up being on an elevator with Charles Finley, where Finley said, "Hey kid, would you like to be my broadcaster of the athletics games?" Finley did not even ask if my granddad had ever done baseball. This led to my granddad being a Major League Baseball announcer for the next 30 years. Monty Moore began broadcasting in Kansas City A's in 1962. He moved with them to Oakland in 1968 and called the games until 1978 when he bought K-Tip, a local radio station in Porterville, California. He never missed a game during his first 17 years with the A's, broadcasting more than 3,000 games in a row. In his first 8 years, Monty was the country's youngest major league broadcaster. Eventually, however, Monty wanted to give daily travel a rest and invest in some family time, which led him to Porterville and to K-Tip. His enthusiasm for baseball and broadcasting set him apart. When I asked him about his enthusiasm in baseball announcing, he gave me this quote: "Anyone can make a good game sound good, but you have to convey a lot of enthusiasm to make a bad game sound good." It was also his familiarity with the game. He always shared insights and nuances of the game with his listeners. There were only 32 major league broadcasting jobs in the whole country, and I was fortunate to have one of them, he said. My granddad taught me to persistently pursue things that you are passionate about. It doesn't matter if you aren't the best at it, because your passion and enthusiasm for it will always shine through. He also taught me to keep your family and God number one, because they are more important than any flashy job you will have. During his career, he remained active in the church and supportive of his wife and 3 children. He has always lived by this saying, "What have I done today for which God would thank me?" He lived by that and put that question at the front of our family. And I thank him for always putting Christ first, even with his newsworthy career.